Cami had spent the early morning desperately trying to coax a migraine out of her life. It was proving to be incredibly obstinate despite the consumption of freshly brewed coffee. She sat silently tortured in the dark kitchen, rubbing the center of her forehead with the tip of her thumb, just above the eyes. Sometimes massaging the third eye helped. Not always. It had been a very strange start to the day. She had awoken abruptly from a nightmare she no longer remembered, as it dissolved almost instantly upon waking consciousness. A peculiar, low humming sound had somehow infiltrated the dream and dragged her ass out of it. Or was it high-pitched? The humming was idiosyncratic in that it was difficult to describe the resonance, and seemingly impossible to determine the source of. Damien had apparently woken up as well, although sometime earlier, and he was sitting on the edge of the bed, staring blankly into their open closet. Motionless. Not even a blink.
Babe, what are you looking at?
She whispered. He didn't respond.
Do you hear that sound?
Nothing. She sat up a little more and tried looking into the closet to see what he was seeing. There was only darkness. She stared into it for several moments, trying to force her eyes to adjust. Was something in there?
No!
Cami barked, now slightly annoyed, and creeped out. She grabbed a pillow and smacked Damien in the back of the head. This immediately jounced him out of the trance. I think I was just dreaming with my eyes open, he said, sounding a bit confused. He glanced at the flashing indigo numbers on the alarm clock. 3:03 a.m. Shit! The power went out! Ugh! He vaulted out of bed and turned on his phone. 6:40 a.m. Shit. I'm gonna be late if I don't hustle now, he said while leaning down to kiss her forehead.
What were you dreaming?
She asked him.
What were you just looking at?
Huh?
The closet. You were staring at something in the closet.
He looks at it again. I was? He scratched his head as though trying to remember. Weird. It must have slipped away.
Did that sound wake you up too? I can't figure out where the humming is coming from.
She was now looking around the bedroom, scanning for the source of the frustrating susurration.
You do hear that, right, babe?
Hear what?
That sound!
She was beginning to get flustered, and a headache was closing in. A fuzzy distance away, but quickly getting closer. Almost how like you can hear an earthquake several seconds before it reaches you.
I was having a bad dream. I don't remember it either now, and that buzzing or murmuring sound woke me up. I was in a deep sleep too, I know that much.
Damien kissed her once more on the top of her head before heading towards the bathroom. Well, you probably needed the sleep, babe. Now I have to hurry up and shower. Is there any chance I could beg my beautiful fiancé to make us coffee?
Okay. I like it when you beg.
She replied, but he was already out of the room. She focused again on the darkness of the closet and found herself peering intently into the abyss. Moments went by. Then suddenly the pipes on the wall slammed as the shower was being turned on. She nearly jumped out of her skin. Now we know why the alarm didn't go off, he yelled from the shower. She didn't respond, as the migraine already was knocking on the door. Cami got to her feet and wobbled down the hallway to the kitchen. What she really needed was caffeine, and quick. While rubbing her temples, she muttered,
Shit. Coffee.
It was many minutes later when she realized the sound had stopped at some point. Upon realizing this, the quiet was now deafening. She continued to rub her forehead with her right thumb and had a death grip on the cup of coffee with her other hand. Damien raced into the kitchen, straightening his tie, which always, despite his best efforts, managed to always be slightly crooked. "Coffee me, stop!" She handed him a cup. "Do you feel any better?" he asked. "Maybe your tinnitus is acting up again."
Yeah, maybe. It seems to have stopped anyway. Now I have a headache. But it's better than it was. Are we still hiking to watch the eclipse tonight?
Oh, absolutely. I'm excited to see this thing. It's not very often, after all, that we get to see a total lunar eclipse in this area. He takes a large sip of coffee. "Hey, should I grab us some food on my way home from work? That way we can eat and then take right off." He slammed down the empty cup.
Perfect.
"All right. Well, I'm off to the coal mines. Have a nice day, my love." They both kissed before he grabbed his laptop and disappeared from their tiny little safe haven into the chaos of a mad, bad world. Had she said goodbye? She couldn't even remember. The morning still felt shrouded by a thick fog, dreamlike. Like something trying to remember something. Had she been awake earlier in the morning? Before the power went out? Before the nightmare and that humming sound? What was that dream about? Cammy sat frozen, deep in thought for several minutes, fixated on a sliver of a thought that was on the verge of emerging from the subconscious. Abruptly, her cell phone went off, making a loud vibration against the countertop while it tore her eardrums to shreds. She looked at the caller ID on the screen.
Unknown. Weird.
Hesitantly, she slid her finger across the screen and answered.
Hello?
"Hey babe, it's me."
Damien! You scared me.
She blasted at him.
Is everything alright?
Yeah? I just wanted to ask if I should pick us up some food after work.
That's a great idea. Then we can eat before going out into the night.
I was thinking maybe that Thai restaurant you like? What do you think about that?
Perfect. What were you in the mood for?
She asked. As they began discussing menu options, a thump is heard outside their apartment door, behind where she was sitting. Then the jingling sound of keys being fumbled through frantic, clumsy fingers. Finally, the door unlocked and a frantic Damien blasted through. "Sorry, babe, I'm an idiot. I always forget something," he bemoaned as he ran into the bedroom. Distractedly, Cammy half acknowledged the interruption behind her and yelled back over her shoulder.
You know you're gonna be really late, right? Just please drive safe. It's not worth speeding, okay?
She returned her attention back to the phone call.
Just don't get anything too spicy.
She pleaded.
I'm not sure if my stomach can handle the ataxia.
His voice could be heard coming through the phone, promising he wouldn't pick up any spicy food. As he was talking, Damien reemerged from the bedroom in the background and waved his cell phone in the air. Of course. I just kinda need this though, you know. See you later, love." Only barely paying attention, she waved goodbye to him as he bolted out of the apartment, closing the door behind his ruckus departure. Back on the phone, Damien's voice could still be heard reassuring Cammy that he wouldn't pick up anything too hot. She began thanking him, then suddenly stopped mid-sentence. Her face froze with terror. The unearthly kind of terror. Damien could be heard on the other end of the phone asking if everything was all right.
"Cammy, is everything okay?"
She stared at the unknown notification on the caller ID and dropped the phone on the floor. She paused, frozen, then suddenly screamed at the top of her lungs.
"Cammy! Cammy!"
Reverberated out of its speaker. She screamed and screamed, and her mind continued to scream, even after her voice had ceased.